Reverend Al, thank you very much for that awesome introduction. It's always great to be introduced by the great Al Sharpton. Thank you very much, Reverend, for those kind words. Good evening, everyone. It's a profound honor to stand before you tonight at the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner here in Detroit. This city, with its rich history of resilience and innovation, is a fitting place to celebrate the ongoing fight for civil rights and justice. First, let me acknowledge the incredible work of the NAACP for over a century. This organization has been at the forefront of the battle against racial discrimination and inequality. Your tireless efforts have not only transformed laws, but have also changed hearts and minds across this great nation. From the historic victories in the courtroom to the grassroots campaigns in our communities, the NAACP has been a beacon of hope and a champion of justice. Tonight, I want to thank some key individuals whose leadership has been instrumental. Dr. Frederick Johnson, President and CEO of the NAACP. Thank you very much, Fred, for your fine leadership of this organization. Your vision and steadfast dedication continue to guide this organization towards new heights. Your leadership in advocating for justice and equality inspires us all. Reverend Wendell Anthony. Wendell, thank you very much. You're the president of the Detroit branch of the NAACP. Your unwavering commitment to this community is a testament to the enduring spirit of Detroit. Your efforts in mobilizing, empowering local communities are invaluable. Karen Boynton, she's the vice chairman of the NAACP Board of Directors. Your strategic leadership and advocacy for civil rights are making significant impacts across the nation. Your work is helping to ensure a more just and equitable society. You know, I had the honor just flying in this afternoon from Washington with Reverend Al and some members of the organization, and we talked about some of the issues that's facing our nation. And you know, we are in the midst of a presidential election campaign. You know, and one of the things that alarms me the most about the candidates that are out there is we're not talking really about the issues that are facing our country. Instead, we are attacking one another, and it's almost You know, the real thing is we need to be talking about the issues. Bottom line, I have never come to this podium once and attacked an opponent. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to come here, I'm going to come to this podium tonight and across the country, and I'm going to tell you what the issues are. There are important issues facing our country, and this by far may be the most important election in our nation's history. So the candidates who are running for the presidency of the United States owe it to you, owe it to all of us to explain their positions on the issues. That's far more important than anything else that's discussed. Anything else that's discussed. And it's not about calling names, it's not about slandering, it's not about bickering, it's about the issues. It's about how it affects the men and women, the families across this country. Bottom line, that's what the presidency of the United States is about. It's about taking care of this country and moving this country ahead. As we gather tonight, we must reflect on the progress we have made. We can draw inspiration from the monumental achievements of the civil rights movement. We remember the courage of leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Thurgood Marshall, who dared to dream of a world free of oppression. Their legacy lives on in the strides we have made toward equality. Strides that include the election of leaders from diverse backgrounds, the implementation, of policies that promote equal opportunity, and the rise of a new generation committed to justice and equality. Yet, even as we celebrate our victories, we must acknowledge the work that still lies ahead. Systemic racism continues to permeate through many aspects of American life, from education to employment to healthcare. Recent rise in hate crimes and the ongoing disparities in our justice system are stark reminders that our struggle for equality is far from over. And it really is. One of the key things that I want to see in my tenure is that everyone in this country, irregardless of where you live, irregardless of your zip code, every child in this country gets a quality education. End of discussion, period. We must be vigilant and proactive in our pursuit of equality. This means addressing not only the overt acts of racism, but also the subtle indices forms of discrimination that persist. We must ensure that every child, regardless of race or zip code, like I mentioned, has access to quality education. We must fight for economic opportunities that are fair and just for all. We must stand firm against any attempts to roll back the voting rights that so many have fought and died for. And that's crucial in this upcoming election. Everyone in this nation who is eligible to vote has the right to vote. The Constitution of this country guarantees it, and nobody should be banned from voting. Nobody. The Constitution says you have a right to vote. If you are entitled to vote this country, you have the right to vote. Let us consider the state of education in our country. I talked about it briefly just then. Despite the progress we have made, there are still too many children of color who lack quality education. They are often relegated to underfunded schools with outdated materials and inadequate resources. This is unacceptable. Every child deserves the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to succeed. We must invest in our schools, support our teachers, and provide our students with the tools they need to thrive. One of the key things I'm proud of is my wife of almost 30 years is a full-time educator in Texas. Full-time. I'm very proud of her. Very proud of her. And she teaches in a school that has a large minority population. It's Title I. And she's been offered positions to go to other schools within her district. She won't leave that school. She she says this that the children in that school deserve a quality education, and Andrea gives that. She is the pre-K teacher, the pre-K lead of the district back home in Texas, and I'm so damn proud of her. I'm proud of her and each and every one of our educators who go into the classrooms every day and forge a path forward for our students. Economic equality remains another significant challenge. The racial wealth gap in this country is staggering. For every dollar of wealth held by a white family, a black family holds just a fraction of that amount. This disparity is the result of decades of discriminatory policies and practices from redlining to equality of pay. We must work to dismantle these barriers and create an economy that works for everyone. This means supporting minority owned businesses, ensuring fair wages, and expanding access to affordable housing. We have to be able to do that. That's the key thing. We have to be able to support the middle class. The middle class is what has made this country. It's what built this country. I'm proposing that we increase taxes only on the upper income. They must, and they will under my administration, pay their fair share in taxes. Healthcare disparities are another critical issue. People of color are more likely to suffer from chronic conditions, less likely to have access to quality health care, and more likely to face discrimination within the healthcare system. The COVID-19 pandemic has only exacerbated these disparities. We must work to ensure that everyone, regardless of race or income, has the access to affordable, high quality health care. In the realm of criminal justice, we have too much work to do. The people of color are disproportionately targeted by law enforcement. I know it's hard to say, and it's hard for me to say, but sometimes it seems to happen. They're subject to harsher sentences and more likely to be incarcerated. We must reform our criminal justice system to ensure that it's fair and just for everyone. This means ending practices like racial profiling, eliminating mandatory minimum sentences, and investing in rehabilitation and reentry programs. Every person in this country has a chance at opportunity. And sometimes we mess up. Everyone's life is not perfect. We make mistakes. And we should pay the price for those mistakes, but it shouldn't be held over us as something that's a permanent scar in our life. Detroit, you've always been a beacon of hope and strength. From the auto industry to Motown sound. Excuse me, this city embodies a spirit of innovation and resilience. That is a spirit that we must harness as we move forward for the quest for justice. The people of Detroit have faced and overcome countless challenges, and your perseverance has served as an inspiration to us all. To the young people in the audience here tonight, you're the torchbearers of this movement. Your passion, energy, and commitment are what will drive us forward. And it is. Every in this part, and when I talk about education, I say this. The children in our classrooms are our future. And I know the times may be a little bit different, but it's based on back in Texas on their times back in Andrea's district. But every day at 7:15, 7:30, they drop their most prized possessions off at school. And at 3:15, they pick them up. Hopefully, they're smarter than when they left that morning. Our school system has become too polarized, too politicized, and it's time for that to stop. It has to stop. In education, our teachers must teach the ABCs, the one, two, threes, and the good and the bad and the ugly of American history. I am not going to stand here tonight and tell you that in our over 250, almost 250 years of history, we have done everything perfect in our country. We've done some great things, and I'm not going to shy away from it. But we've done some bad things. Things that at the time we may not have thought were bad, but in hindsight, we look at them and they were horrible things. We must teach those to this next generation. For if we don't teach that to this next generation, they're bound to repeat it. They are bound to repeat it. My friends, there's still a lot of work to do in this struggle. But I will tell you here tonight that you have my 100% backing. This country is made up of so many different people from so many different backgrounds. And I firmly believe that if we stop the hatred and just start working together as one, irregardless of race, irregardless of background, and just reach out and shake our neighbor's hands and start working together, there is nothing at all in this country that we can't accomplish. There's nothing we can't accomplish if we work together as one. And I am committed to seeing that this divide that's torn our nation apart, that divide comes together, and we once again become the United States of America. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you. May God bless you. May God bless our troops. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.